In this video, we are going to be going through application-style worded questions for linear equations. And the skills are exactly the same, but they can be a bit trickier. I know that we've had a fantastic result on our linear equations test, but they are the skills. If you cannot interpret the words and turn them into equations and then solve those equations, then you are going to have some trouble. So you really do need to practice these, and you really need to practice your coursework. It says here, for each of the following, write an equation and then solve it algebraically. It says here that when b is doubled, so when b is doubled and then 5 is subtracted from this, then that is 2b and then subtract 5 and the result is 39. The thing furthest from the b is the minus 5, so we need to plus 5. There's not much room here, by the way. So that's going to give us 2b is equal to 44. Now, dividing both sides by 2 gives us b is equal to 22. Really not much room. Let's do it over here on the left. Number p is multiplied by 3. So we're going to have 3p. Then divided by 7. And the result is equal to 6. Now, if I was to do this, there's a number of things we can do, but let's get rid of this 7 first. So we have to times both sides by 7. Now, what that is just, I'm going to do it over here. You would usually have more room. 3p is equal to 42. Now, you then need to divide both sides by 3, sorry. So, and look, you also have a calculator in this. So if you were struggling with 42 divided by 3, you could use your calculator. So when we divide both sides by 3, that's going to give us p is equal to 14, like so. Now, I might do this over here, like so. Doubling x, so that is 2x, and adding 8 is the same. Is an equal sign. Very good, Ruby. Is the same as tripling x and subtracting 3. Now, so can you see there that we've been doing this, haven't we? If you can set up the equation like so, we now can solve that. The greatest value of x is the right-hand side, so we leave that. So we minus 2x from both sides. Very good. Okay, so we minus 2x from both sides. So that leaves us with, on the left-hand side, we've got 8. 3x take 2x is x minus 3. And you guessed it, adding 3 to both sides gives us x is equal to 11. Okay, so they're not so bad, are they? Just one sec. I've got a question over here. Emma, you had... All right, so we've just answered that question. The question was, why do we have 7 there? And that's because whatever we do to the right-hand side, we have to do to the left-hand side, have to do to the right-hand side to keep that equation in balance. Now, you also have a very common sort of thing is having a rectangle, and they'll tell you what a perimeter is. Now, a perimeter, of course, we know that a perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And it doesn't really matter which one is the width and the length. Let's just call this one the width. And let's just call this one the length. So if you have the perimeter, we now need to create an equation and actually solve for that. So as you can see here, we're actually solving for A. We're solving for A. You can see here that if I multiply A by 2, that gives me the width. And if I multiply A by 3, that gives me the length. So why don't we do this? The perimeter, which is 90, is equal to... The perimeter, which is 90, is equal to 2 times the length, which is 2 times... Now, be careful. I'm going to get you to use brackets here. 2 times 3a is the length, and then the width is 2 times 2a. Now, when I expand that out, that's going to get 2 times 3a is 6a, and 2 times 2a is 4a. And there you go, we have 90. Now, what we're going to do is we can collect like terms. So 6 apples plus 4 apples is 10 apples. That's right. And of course, you could solve that out. We know that if each of those apples, 10 apples, 10 apples cost 90 cents, and therefore an apple would cost 9 cents. So dividing both by 10 gives us A is equal to 9. Now, because we haven't been told any units, we just leave it as 9 units. Okay, but just remember, if you've got units as centimetres and so on, then you please use those units. Ruby, you had a question there? Okay, so as you can see here, now what can you tell me about this one? This rectangle has a length, it has a width. I'm going to call this the length, and I'm going to call this the width. But can someone tell me there's a relationship between B's and the B and 19, and there's also a relationship between 52 and E. Can anyone tell me what that might be? Yep. Yep, so 52 is opposite 3e minus 50. Those lengths. Fantastic. 52 is equal to 3e minus 50. Now that's one of them. Now on the other side, we know that 4b minus 1, which is the width, is also the width on the other side. So that's is equal to 19. So what we're going to do is we have to do and find e. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add 50 to both sides for this one. Add 50. So that gives me 102 is equal to 3e. Now remember, you have a calculator, okay? So if I have a calculator, we now need to divide both sides by 3 to give me e. So that's going to be now, what's that, 90? So that's going to give me, so 34 times 3 is 102. So therefore, E is equal to 34. You can use your calculators, remember? All right. And over here, we're adding 1 to both sides. 4B is equal to 20. You got it. B is equal to 5. Okay, so it's not so bad, is it? Not so bad, hopefully. All right, we're going to push on. Now it says find the length and the width of the rectangle. Now, remember that each of these are also equal. So we're going to have to frame two equations. So let's call this the length, and let's call this side the width. And we know that we've got 6n plus 30 must be equal to 86 minus 8n. That's when I equate the length. And the same thing, we've got 8w minus 15 is equal to 6w plus 3. Now, look, I set it out like this for a reason. I see quite a few of you just setting out all sorts of crazy ways, and I want you to please try and set it out like this. Now, we're looking at for the greatest value of n, that's 6. So that means we need to do the opposite of minus 8n, which is plus 8n. So we plus 8n to both sides. And on the left-hand side, we've got 14n plus 30 is equal to 86. Of course, that 18 has been removed now. Now what we can do is, what's the thing furthest from 14n? That's 30. So we need to subtract 30 from both sides. So the numbers might be a little bit bigger because you've got a calculator in these sort of style of things, which is 14n is equal to 56, and 14 times 4 is 56, so n is equal to 4. Okay, you can see here that there's a clear working for this. Step 1, you get a mark for basically writing the equation out. Step 2, then there's basically probably a mark for those two lines of working and an answer mark. So this potentially could be worth up to 6 marks because we've found what n is. Now we have to do the same for w. Now, can I get everyone here to, I want you to find w yourself, please. I'm going to pause this video, okay, and I would like you to find w. Away. All right, girls, I hope you've had a chance at doing that. And if you haven't, if you can just follow me. We're looking at the w's and we're looking for the biggest one. 8w is larger than 6w. Be careful with negatives though, because with negatives, a larger negative number is actually smaller. Okay, so Now, so what we're going to be doing is we want to deal with this 6w. So we're going to subtract 6w from both sides. So we're going to subtract 6w from both sides, which gives us 2w minus 15 is equal to 3. Now we need to add 15 to both sides, like so, which gives us 2w is equal to 18, and you guessed it, w is equal to 9. I know that in that last step you could guess and check 2 times something is 18. I'm happy for you to just write the answer, okay? But what I will not accept is not showing this that you're subtracting 6w or that you're adding 15. If you can get to that last step there, 2w is equal to 18, I'm more than happy to allow you to do that. All right, now this one here, whether you remember it or not, you would have looked at triangles and that all of the sum of the angles add to 180. So it's saying here find x. So as you can see, we have all of these angles. When you add them up, that equals 180. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that. We're going to write that as an equation. 3x plus, now I'm going to write a little in brackets here, 2x minus 5, and then plus 5x plus 1. And that is all equal to 180. Sorry, in darts, that's what they say. The highest score in darts is 180. All right, now let's add those things up. We've got 3 xylophones plus 2 xylophones plus 5 xylophones. That's going to be 10 xylophones, or 10x. And don't forget, we've got minus 5, we've got minus 5, we've got plus 1, as that equals 180. Now, on the left-hand side, minus 5 plus 1 is what? Is equal to negative 4. That's correct. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add 4 to both sides. Add 4 to both sides, which gives us 10x is equal to 184. Now this is why you really need a calculator, because 184, if I divide it by 10, it's not going to be a whole number. Okay, so this is where we can ask you slightly harder questions. Alice? Yeah, but minus 5 plus 1 is minus 4. Yeah. So now just so you know, your answer doesn't always have to be a nice whole number. There's infinite amount of numbers in the world called real numbers, and they don't have to be all whole number integers. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 10, and if we do that in a calculator, and that's going to give us x is equal to, well, in actual fact, when dividing by 10, we can move the decimal place 1. So that's 18.4. 18.4. Okay, and that's your answer. X is equal to 18.4. Now it says, given the sum of the angles, find x. That's all we've been asked to do. Okay, so we don't need to state what each of these angles are, because we're just simply answering the question. Now this question I've actually already made a YouTube for already. So you can watch that. It's a YouTube which went for about 6 to 7 minutes. Okay, it's on my YouTube site already. Okay, so it's fair to say that this one we can leave out for now, and you can check later. Okay, check the other video. Now, it's asking here, for all of the questions, you are required to define each variable. So define means state exactly what it is, not just what the pronumeral is. You need to then write a suitable equation, solve it, and write a sentence out. Okay? Now, step 1, I think of a number, double it, and add 5, and the result is 7. The result is 11. So let's call that number x. Okay? So x is the number. Okay, so what we're going to do is that number, we're going to double it and then add 5, and the result is 11, like so. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 5 from both sides, And that's going to give me, we don't have much room here, so that's going to be 2x is equal to 6. And you guessed it, x is equal to 3. Okay? Luke bought 1 adult movie ticket and 4 children's tickets. If the cost of an adult ticket is $16, find the cost of a children's ticket. So what we're going to do is we're going to let A, so the number is 3. The number is 3. Absolutely. I'm just sort of mindful of time. We've got about 5 minutes till the bell. Luke bought 1 adult movie ticket. So let A be the adult movie tickets. And it's actually not, it's the number of adult movie tickets. And let C be the children's tickets. Now, if he bought 1 adult movie ticket and 4 children's tickets for $70, so let's call, if the cost of an adult ticket is $16, so, well, let's do this as the cost. So that's the cost of an adult ticket and the cost of a child's ticket. Now we need to construct an equation. So if he bought 1 adult ticket, so that's going to be A, okay, and A is times by what? How much revenue does he get, or how much does it cost for each adult ticket? It says here that the cost of an adult ticket is 16. So we've got to multiply that by 16, and then we've got C is the cost of a children's ticket, but we don't know what that is. But we do know that he had 4 times. Now, it just so you know, 16 is actually 16 times 1 plus 4 times the children's ticket, and it cost him $70. Okay, so we've actually constructed an equation. Whenever you've got tickets, it's going to be the cost of each ticket by how many there are for adults and children, and you need to add them together. So what we're going to do now is that's the same as 16 plus 4C is equal to 70. The furthest thing from 4C is 16. So we're going to subtract 16 like so, and that's going to give us 4C is equal to 54. Okay. So when you're going to need your calculators for this. If we do then divide both sides by 4, that's going to give you C is equal to 54 divided by 4. Now, is that a whole number? No, it's not, because 52 divided by 4 is 13. But then if I had 2 left over, 2 divided by 4 is a half. So the answer is 13 and a half. And you're absolutely, so now 13 and a half, what does that mean? It actually means $13.50. Yes, very good. Okay, so what we're going to say is that find the cost of a child's ticket. So the cost of a child is $13.50. Okay? All right, now look, this is more or less the same thing. Let's sort of see if we can finish off on this question, but very briefly because I'm mindful of the time, girls. Amelia is shopping at her local greengrocer. She purchases 4 punnets of strawberries for $9.60. So what we're going to do is we're going to let S be the cost of a punnet of strawberries. Now we write an equation. So 4P is equal to $9.60. $9.60, like so. Dividing both sides by 4 gives us P is equal to, what's that, 2.4, $2.40. 24.48, yeah, it should be if you do it in the calculator. So that is going to be $2.40. So therefore, you can say that a punnet costs $2.40. Remember that you guys and girls have, so you girls have calculators. 9.6 by 4. That's right. Exactly. All right. Now, I'm going to skip this middle one and go to the oranges. Oranges cost 80 cents more than lemons. So what we're going to do is O is the cost of oranges. And L is the cost of lemons. Now, what we can say is 3 lemons and 2 oranges cost $4.60. So 3L plus 2O. 2O, that looks like a 20, but anyway, it's an O. 2O is equal to $4.60. And oranges cost 80 cents more. So if I subtract oranges from if I subtract lemons from oranges, then that's going to give me 80 cents. Now, this one's a little bit of a tricky one because you've got 2 equations. But what we can say is that oranges is equal to lemons plus 0.8. I'm actually getting this L to the other side. Now, I'm going to get you to see if you can finish this one yourselves, okay? But the hint is, wherever I've got O for oranges, I can replace that with L plus 0.8. And I can put that in this equation to only have one unknown. Girls, so I'll get you to finish that one off because the bell's gone. Have a good weekend and good luck.